Well, welcome. I'm Tom Louts, Communications Director, City of Marshfield, and this is your City at Work program, and thank you for joining me. Today I have the Wood County Sheriff people here, and thank you for joining me. Next to me on my left, I have Matt Sousa here, and we have Sheriff Sean Becker as well. So we're going to learn a lot about different things that are happening and recap some items that were going on last month in August, like a golf outing. So right now I'm going to turn it over to you, Sean, and talk about that and some other things that we had shared before we started.
Yeah, sure. It's always a pleasure to be here, Tom. Thanks for the invite. Sergeant Matt Sousa is with us today. He's going to discuss quite a bit about ATVs and UTV and patrolling that and the routes that we have in Wood County. That's been something that's been fairly new. With the route system that our highway commissioner has put together and what our townships are doing. A lot of them have been opening up, and Matt's been doing a really nice job of connecting what the routes are and getting that information out to the public. But we'll get into that a little bit. Next thing I want to talk about is tomorrow night. There's a huge football game here in Marshfield. Marshfield Senior High, their football team's doing very well this year. They're undefeated in conference. Got to throw a shout out to Jason Femley. He's one of our detectives here at the Marshfield Police Department. Used to work for us. His son is the starting quarterback, and he's a beast.
Wow.
I coach football for Lincoln High School. It's my 8th year. I coach linebackers, and it's going to be a great game tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. And again, a big shout out to Jason and his son. They're going to be a handful, and hopefully have a really good, competitive game. I believe a lot of people will be there. A lot of line. Whoever wins the game tomorrow night will be conference champions or a sheriff of the conference, and that's pretty cool, pretty neat when you see your two, bigger high schools, in the county getting the opportunity to compete together at this level, and it means something. Both teams are playing very well. So hope to see a lot of people out tomorrow night. I think weather's going to be great, and looking forward to it.
All right, well, it's the 29th now, so if people are watching this after the game, then they'll know who won or not, because we do play this for about a week. Tomorrow night, the 30th, at Southwood County, correct? No, it's here.
Here in Marshall,
it's here.
At that new, gorgeous stadium. I always, anytime we get the opportunity to talk about the football stadium, right on campus at Marshfield Senior High, it's awesome. Yeah. I've, again, been doing this for about 8 years and seen a lot of really nice stadiums, and I'll tell you what, it's the best. Wisconsin Rapids did a really nice thing with their stadium, but just with, just the appearance of that stadium, they did it right, and it's something that the community can be very proud of. I know it was a long time coming, and I think it's their 3rd season around there that they've been playing there, but it's awesome. So looking forward to tomorrow night.
All right. Well, we'll see who wins that match and go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to a golf outing that happened in August. You wanted to touch base about that?
Yeah, we had a golf outing that was put together by a foundation that represents our K-9 unit. It's called the Acacia Foundation, and it's a 501c3 that was established several years ago. And earlier in the year, we were looking at some opportunities or ideas to do a fundraiser, something that would bring a lot of community awareness to our K-9 unit. And it's not exclusive just to the Sheriff's Department. Marshfield Police Department has a K-9 unit, Wisconsin Rapids, Nakusa, and those K-9 units are always really supported by the community. So we had our foundation to sit down and take a look at what would be a good opportunity, not only to raise money, but get people out there to see us, to see, interact with not just the deputies, but the K-9 unit. Get our vendor, Giuseppe, K-9s come up to, just do some demonstrations and a lot of great ideas. I got to give a huge shout out to Andrea Weiland, who is part of our foundation. She joined recently and really put together this golf outing. It was unique. It was 18 holes at the Ridges. Got a lot of sponsors that stepped up. Sparhawk Trucking was our main sponsor. Wood Trust Bank. I could go on forever on just the people that sponsored the event, and donate prizes. It was amazing. I know Matt was there. When you walked into the banquet area, it was full of baskets that people have donated, and then larger scale, prizes that people could, bid on or do the raffle tickets and stuff. But it was, thanks Andrea and our foundation. It was very successful. This is going to assure us that we're going to continue to have our canine unit. We're very fortunate that we have 4 of them, 1 per each of our shift, and that's all because of the dedication that several of our deputies want to be part of the program, and the community support. There's no way we'd be able to afford to have 4 different dogs, 1 per shift, and we're lucky, and that's all based on the type of fundraising that people are doing for us. Now we're in a position that we're going to retire a dog probably within a couple of years. And what's the next step? And then, as a department, what we've been discussing is what would be good for not just Wood County, but central Wisconsin, where we can be, utilized. And we're probably going to go down the path of a weapons or explosives detecting dog. If you look at, the way things are in our community, where we get bomb threats, whether it's at a school or wherever, or just, precautionary things where if there's a parade, this kind of a dog can be utilized before the parade starts just to, hey, make sure that there's nothing out there that we should be aware of. And, and again, if we get some sort of, bomb threat or something where a weapon might be hidden and somebody could be doing something really bad with. I mean, you look at the world we live in today, I think this is a good opportunity for us to move in that direction. And having these kind of events solidifies us to really think about moving forward with that and not having to, pay for, another dog that costs a lot of money. Just a dog in the train is about $15,000. Then you look on top of that, the equipment, a squad car, outfitting that, it's a lot of money. It's a huge, investment that any law enforcement agency would have to make to just move forward with the canine unit. Now we've got something that's kind of exclusive to something that's unique to the area. I think explosive weapons, detecting canines. There's not many in the state. I think the closest that we're aware of is over in Green Bay, and that makes sense because you have the Packers there, and that's a very valuable tool to have before any game or during. So I think this is a great direction for us. And again, going back to our foundation, Andrea and all the volunteers, everybody that helped, the golfers, I think we're in a really good position to move forward with going in that direction. So it was a great experience that we had. We're going to look at doing an event up in the Marshfield area, and just maybe a golf outing or a 5K. Those are very popular. And maybe pairing up with Marshfield PD or something. We'll see. I mean, we did recently, Weilers did a really nice event for us here in Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids where they did a brat fry. And again, we had the opportunity to work with not only Marshfield PD, but Wisconsin Rapids Police Department, just to have a brat fry where we had, our dogs there, people would come up and get a brat and hang out with us, and then we could sell either T-shirts or some other memorabilia for our canine unit, and those were very successful too. So just talking about the golf outing and what Weilers did for not just the Sheriff's Department, but Marshfield Police Department and Wisconsin Rapids Police Department. Very happy to have those community partners. It means a lot, and it ensures that we can move forward with having our canine units.
Yeah, that's essential nowadays. It's hard with budgets and increasing costs, and we need community support to help these kinds of programs like a golf outing, basketball game, maybe even a football game. Should we get the Wood County Sheriff versus Marshfield Police? I don't know. Well, fundraising is really important in this community, and you had a brat fry along with the
also with the golf outing that I just talked about, but then we also had a brat fry with Wheelers. They approached us and wanted to do some marketing for our canine unit as well. And those are the kind of events that, like I said, they keep our canine units going. We're fortunate that we paired with the Marshfield Police Department. Mary Jo Wheeler came forward. This is one of her ideas that, hey, this is an opportunity that we can raise some money for your K-9 units as well and combine that. And they put together 2 different broad fries, one here up in Marshfield recently and another one in Wisconsin Rapids. And it was a great opportunity for the community to come out and support our K-9 unit, either buy a T-shirt or some other memorabilia from each of our K-9 units and get something to eat and then interact with us because both agencies had our K-9 units there. We had demonstrations and it sounds like this is going to be something that we'll do yearly. And again, another great opportunity for the community to come out and interact with with us and essentially the K-9 units because they are so heavily supported by the community. As we were talking before, budgets were always looking for opportunities to save money, and K-9 units are expensive. Even after you make that initial investment, there's still costs there. Whether it's training, equipment, care for the vet and stuff like that. So no, we're very blessed to have folks out there like Mary Jo and many other people that are willing to step up and support us.
Definitely, really important. There's a piece that you were talking about, Mary's Place. Can you tell me a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, in the Marshfield area, in Marshfield, there's a Mary's Place that's been around for probably almost 17 years. And what Mary's Place is, it's a place for people who are struggling with housing. It's a place where people can go if they're homeless or just struggling to find housing. And again, it's been going on for in Marshfield for over 17 years, where people that again they want to help people out to get through that next step in life. And it's not a homeless shelter; it's transitional housing. So when people go through an application process to stay there, and if they're approved, there's some rules, policies that you have to follow, and it's been going very well. It's just an opportunity to help people that are in a tough spot in their life, and housing is an issue. Working with their jail discharge planner, and this isn't exclusive to help people that are getting released from jail, but they do help. They do give people that opportunity to have a place to go while they're in between in their life, where they're looking for housing, and they have to, once they're in the facility, they have to be out looking for work. They do have to pay some rent, and what's been happening now with the success, and I've got to bring up one of our county board members, Adam Fisher, who's a big part of Mary's Place. There's an idea going on to having one in Wisconsin Rapids. And there's been talk about that for several months, and it finally came together. The Wisconsin Rapids City Council approved having a Mary's Place in Wisconsin Rapids. So we're going to open up a similar place down not too far from downtown Wisconsin Rapids. So it's located in a decent area where if people don't have an opportunity to have transportation, they can walk to areas, so it's a good location, and we're hoping that'll be open probably sometime next spring. So a big thank you to Adam and moving this project forward, because as I was mentioning, housing is a big issue. We've identified that not only through our jail discharge planner, but our mental health officer, Doug Christensen, as he works with people in the community. Housing's a big issue, and here's a place that, again, people have to understand it's not a homeless shelter. It's transitional housing where people have to go through an application process to get in. They have to stay sober while they're staying there, and they have to be out looking for work. And it's, like I said, the biggest thing, transitional housing is what people have to understand. Most people don't stay there past 6 months. Some do, but not very often. The goal is to get them some help, and then get them on their own. So they're working, they have their own housing and moving forward, because just think of it, if you're in a tough situation and you don't have housing, how much of a stress that is on your life when you're either balancing between houses, and what kind of environment is that? What we found with our people being released from our jail, going back to the community, and they start to get into those similar situations that they were in before they got arrested and created some issues for themselves and others, they go right back to it. And we found housing is a big component to people being successful once they are being released from our facility.
Yeah, very good points on that. That's so true. They're a way to get on their feet and not get back into the jail system, because that costs a lot of money to have an inmate, and you really want them out in the community, and that's a way to improve their lives. Two more things I wanted to ask you before we take a quick break, and then talk with Sergeant Matt Sousa about all his stuff. First one that I have was SWAT team that you guys are talking about bringing in together with City of Marshall PD.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. That's been a discussion that the Sheriff's Department has had, Marshfield Police Department. Matt's the team leader on our SWAT team. And even Wisconsin Rapids Police Department, there's 3 SWAT teams, special response teams, within our county. And it's probably a good, at least 2+ years ago, we felt there was a good opportunity with leadership changes at all the departments that we look at this. It's not exclusive just to Wood County. A lot of other counties are doing this, and that's where the idea came from, not just Matt and myself, but even leadership from the other agencies as well. So we looked at agreements on how we could do this. We had our county attorney, the city attorneys go through this. So there was a lot of work put into it. And at this time, I'm really happy to announce that our county board, our public safety committee approved it, and so did the Marshall Police Department, Police and Fire Department did. Police and Fire Commission, along with their city council, was recently approved. So at the first of the year, we'll be combining, our special response teams, and it's just a great opportunity to combine resources. We're training together. Any mutual aid requests, we're already working together. It's just an opportunity to provide a better service to our community. And I'm hoping, in time, Wisconsin Rapids will join on too.
Okay. So a SWAT team, what is that? Is that used for when there's like someone dangerous? I'm just curious.
High-risk calls, any type of high-risk calls, whether it's a search warrant that we're going to execute that we're aware of that there's a high probability of weapons being involved, or it depends on the situation, a hostage situation, those kind of things. Any people should look at very high risk. We have specialized equipment. We're fortunate enough that the Sheriff's Department has an armored vehicle that we got from the military several years ago. Marshfield Police Department does too. We don't use them very often, thankfully. Obviously, we train with them, but what I like to do is, if we have a parade, have them in that, so people know that we have that kind of a specialized vehicle, and it's there for if we do need it. We're not military, making our department or the special response team, a military unit. It's people should look at it as it's something that protects the community and protects our officers. They're armored vehicles. Unfortunately, there's history of people shooting at us. We got these vehicles for free from the military. If we talked about budget, if this is something that we budget for, you're talking, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Here's something that the military gave us through a program that now we have. And yeah, we put some money into it, but nothing like buying a vehicle that you see other counties do. So that's
awesome.
People have to look at the equipment specialized for high-risk situations that we've identified that weapons are most likely involved.
All right. You ever get a chance to drive that yet?
I did. When we had got the vehicle from the military, we had it shipped up. We all went through some training, so I did get the opportunity to drive it. It's like driving a semi.
Yeah. So you still can see out windows. It's not like a tank. A little different. A tank, I don't even know. I don't think they even have windows in a tank. Or maybe I'm thinking old World War II tanks. I don't know.
Yeah, there's windows in it. Okay. We put a video camera system so you can see 360 around it. But it's, I'm glad that our department has it. It's something that saving lives. Just how much money to put on somebody's life, especially law enforcement officers.
Exactly. Well, when that gets a little bit closer, we'll come back and talk about it, see how it's going. Winter time, snow will be flying then.
Sure.
You guys will be just getting that going. Although you work with all the PDs now, that's very common. So it's probably a very good way to save some money in areas and not have duplication when you, especially in like the K-9, like you were talking about earlier.
Right.
Yep. So one last thing I wanted to bring up with you, Sean, is the piece that happened in Port Edward several months ago. We've been updating it on this program. Anything new updates on that?
No, we're still, we sent some of the remains out to a private lab that can help us with extracting some DNA, and we have not got an update yet, so unfortunately we don't have that person identified. So hopefully next time that we talk, we'll have some more news on that.
All right. Well, thanks for that update. And we're going to take a break before we come back and talk to Sergeant Matt Sousa about what he does with ATVs, UTVs. So we'll be right back after this quick message.
A community is a group of people contributing time and energy to achieve shared goals.
Communities are more powerful when we work together.
Sharing a vision with friends and loved ones.
Businesses and institutions.
From volunteerism to advocacy to your personal contribution.
Supporting United Way is a chance for us to unite and take action to make our shared vision a reality.
When we support our United Way,
we connect our communities.
Support those in need.
Bring light to darkness.
Build a stronger future.
And create a better life for all.
Together we can.
Together we can make an impactful difference.
And effect real change.
United Way organizations help our community members in need.
Last year in our community, United Way programs helped children and families secure their most basic needs.
Supported seniors so they could continue to live independently in their homes.
Provided services for children to receive care to help address depression, anxiety, and other mental health concerns.
And so many more lives touched in countless ways through programs supported by the United Way.
Why do I support United Way?
Knowing my funds go directly to my community makes the difference.
Knowing we all have the same vision and are working towards the same goals.
Finding ways to strengthen individuals and families in their time of need.
And working on long-term solutions that build a stronger, healthier, and happier future for our community.
To me, supporting this work is compassionate and honest. It's just the right thing to do.
That's why I chose.
I choose.
I choose.
We choose to support United Way.
We hope you live united with us and support our communities and United Way this year.
Let's live united.
Well, welcome back to Your City at Work. I have members of the Wood County Sheriff's Department. I have our sheriff here, Sean Becker, that we spoke about earlier in this program. And now we're going to talk with Sergeant Matt Sousa. Been with the department for quite some time. Shifted roles a little bit here and there, but you're still out there enforcing the laws. But this one, ATV, UTV, but introduce yourself and what you do.
Sure, I'm Sergeant Matt Sousa. I've been a patrol sergeant for several years. I've been with the Sheriff's Department for about 18 years, and just kind of took a different assignment here in this last year that the Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Becker, has created, and it's going good.
Okay. Well, what is all that? We were talking about ATVs, UTVs. You know, we all know it's now become a really popular sport. You're on the road. You might even be next to one, possibly. I don't know the rules, but this is where you can come in. What do we need to know about ATVs, UTVs in Wood County?
Sure. So not long ago, our Highway Commission and County Board approved to open up a lot of our county roads in Wood County, which really created the county to network all together. Before it was a lot of just a township here and a township there. A lot of dead ends, couldn't get a lot of different places throughout our community. But with our county opening up the county roads, we created this position to have me out there along with other law enforcement deputies, also can enforce any of these laws that the state has put out there. But gives us the opportunity to go out there and have that extra patrol to make sure our roads are still safe now that we allow these ATVs and UTVs out on our roadways. So
Does that also mean that you're on the trails itself with a UTV?
It does. Here in Wood County, we don't have a whole lot of trail system. The difference between trail and route, it's considered a road route, which is our township roads, our county roads. Trail system, we have a small county trail system down on the southern half in the town of Port Edwards. But that's mainly a confined area that the Parks Department has.
So when we're talking about UTV and ATV trails, is that different than a snowmobile trail?
That is.
Okay.
So like I was saying, here in Wood County, we don't have a whole lot of ATV, UTV
Right.
trails. We have ATV, UTV routes.
Routes. Okay.
So that's the difference. A route is on a road, a trail is off-road,
Okay.
per se. So it is different because our snowmobile trails are through private landowners that have given the snowmobile clubs permission to operate on the snowmobile trails. None of our snowmobile trails are open to any ATV or UTV traffic.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really
So-
good to know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And let's go back to the ATV, UTV, and then we'll go to snowmobiles because that's coming up here.
Yep, that's
When
right
it's
around the
just
corner.
and you'll be doing that as well. you
That's
said.
correct.
But back to ATV, UTVs. What about the cities like Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids or Arpin? And can they drive those in there? No. Is that different?
So our two big cities, Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids, would have to pass an ordinance. They have not, and I don't foresee it happening anytime real soon. But that's up to each individual governing agency that implies those ordinances to allow the UTVs, ATVs. So we talk about throughout the county itself, our small villages, the city of Pittsville, and almost all of our villages here within Wood County have opened up, along with the townships also.
So you could be on a road like in Pittsville and meet them right at the gas station?
That's correct.
And they
Yep.
can take off from there without a trailer. That's very beneficial.
It is.
Yeah.
What I would recommend is on our county website, if you look under the Parks and Forestry area of the Wood County website, there is a map specifically to what roads are open in Wood County, and that includes every township, every village, every city, and all the county roads that are open for UTV and ATV traffic.
Okay. Do we need a license on an ATV?
So we do. It's a little different, not necessarily a driver's license, but you need to have a certification. So anybody born after January 1st of 1988 needs to take the certification for the ATV, UTV course. I do put on several courses throughout the year. I'm having my second course this year coming up in January, I should say December. And I'm book solid. I expanded it out already to double the size of the class, and I filled that. So I got approximately 46 students coming this time around. I had 25 this spring, and so it is a requirement. And at this age, you need to be anybody over, like I said, born after 1/1 of '88 needs to have that course, and you need to be 12 years of age to be able to operate a lot of the ATV.
Okay, well, that's good information to know. So you could be, if I do the math real quick, 20-some years old and 22, and you would have to be certified.
That is correct,
Okay.
yep. So, and that goes along with all the DNR recreational stuff. Most commonly we know it for the hunting regulations. I think it was 73 needed to have it, but now they implemented it in for the ATV, UTV, snowmobile, and boat. So that.
Okay. Oh, even boat, watercraft.
Even boat. So anybody 1/1 of '89 is boat. Anybody 1/1 of '85 is snowmobile.
So even with any waterways like in Arpin or the Wisconsin River, you cannot have somebody that's, if you're there, say at my age, I'm already saying I'm older, I couldn't have that person drive without being certified even if I'm there.
So if you're there, the owner of the boat,
Yeah.
and you're the guardian,
Yeah.
there is some regulations
Okay.
where you could allow that, like a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
to be sitting on your lap driving the boat. There is some leeway there.
Yeah, I
but
was
if you
wondering.
wanted somebody just to take your boat out,
Got
they
it.
would need to have their certification also.
That's no different than the gun permits used to be for years, right? If you had a small game, didn't you? I remember back in the 80s.
Yeah, so it started with hunting, and
Hunting,
now the
yeah.
DNR is implemented it into the recreational vehicles.
But it's a good idea because we've all heard fatalities in snowmobiles every year, even UTV, ATVs. What do you've probably run into this and it's hard.
Yeah, so the main thing with these courses is the education, and of course education comes along with, hopefully responsible driving and less accidents out on the roads.
Definitely. So you're still out in a vehicle or a squad, I'll call it.
Yep.
But you can be on a snowmobile come this winter season. Is that right?
That is correct. So we have a UTV at the Sheriff's Department, we have snowmobiles at the Sheriff's Department, we have boats. And my squad. So I got basically 4 vehicles that I get to pick from on a daily basis on which one I want to take out and patrol from.
So they may have light sirens too?
Yep.
Oh, even on the snowmobile?
So we got lights on all of them.
Sure.
The snowmobile doesn't have a siren. Long story, but
okay,
it doesn't have a siren. But yeah, they all have emergency lights.
Is there speed limits on these routes that they have to follow and back to snowmobile trails? Since we're talking about two things, is there a speed limit?
Yes, there is a speed limit. If it's not posted, which a lot of the townships have made an ordinance themselves to actually put a speed limit on, like 35 miles an hour. If you drive down the road, there's a lot of green signage that you see that says UTV, ATV route 35 miles an hour. If there is none posted, then it follows what the speed limit of the road is.
Okay.
So.
Do they need to pull over like a farm vehicle, or can they just drive right down? Like
no, so they gotta travel in a single file line, and they need to stay on the right side of the road.
Okay.
But they do have every right to be in that lane of traffic. It's just that they have to stick to the furthest to the right.
And for those UTV, ATV, they are different. The UTV is kind of that new, kind of like the old days of Jeeping, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they're getting bigger.
They're getting
faster.
Bigger. Yeah.
So yeah, the ATV, UTV, I mean, one is an all-terrain vehicle, so that would be considered like your 3-wheelers, your 4-wheelers. The UTV is a utility terrain vehicle, which is more what you see of your Polaris or your Can-Ams and that kind of.
Well, with the hunting season already started, but deer hunting, except just probably in bow hunting, is now, you see an increase in the use of ATVs and UTVs at that time?
We do. Spring and fall seem to be right now kind of the two times that we see them. Just with the spring weather, everybody wanting to get out and catch that fresh breeze going down the road. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, with the hunting fall season here, falls into play.
So do some of the same rules apply? You're driving a motor vehicle in a way. You can't drink and drive, and you can't. You could get an OWI, right?
That's correct.
So you got to be careful.
So
right?
yeah, a lot of the rules that are in place by the Wisconsin DNR are very similar to the Department of Transportation that the state's put into play. So yes, there's speed limits, seat belts. Number of passengers that you can have and proper seating.
But you guys will enforce it, right?
Yes,
if someone
absolutely.
is going 80 miles an hour and they shouldn't be,
absolutely,
they will could get a ticket, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And like we said before, it's all about the education, but there is a line where you got to draw and actually enforce it. So somebody going 80 is outrageously, and that's not safe.
It's not safe, and but hopefully, like a program like this gets the word out before that ticket is passed. That's what we're trying to do, is good PR and get it out for you guys.
Right.
People know about this, and before you know it, we'll be out on the trails. I hope to be out on the trails. That would be. I know Sean; he's an avid snowmobiler, right?
You bet.
And it's a fun sport, and you, wow. What a great job, get out there and do some of that stuff. But you guys, it is a hard job what you guys do. It's very dangerous. So.
Yeah, definitely pros and cons to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But did you ever see yourself doing that 18, 20 years ago?
No. I will say I've been on the snowmobile patrol for 16, so I've kind of had a little bit of it involved. And, I've a personal life. I like the recreational stuff also. So this just gives me a great opportunity to enjoy my job and doing some things and educating people.
So back to that class, and it's already filled.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they go on the website, the county's website, and then go to the sheriff's department? I know, or how do they do that?
The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, if you go on their Gold Wild site, if you're looking for educational classes, there's a link on there. that basically says enroll into an educational class. So we list our class on there along with other departments, agencies, and private volunteers that just host these classes throughout the state. But that's where we announce it. We do post it on our Facebook page when it originally comes out. So if you need the education, that's where you go.
That's where you go. Just to go back to licenses, I know I touched on it earlier. A driver's license is not required, but you have to be 12 years old or older to operate a UTV on one of these routes, right?
So
or am I getting into
we're
the
getting
weeds?
into some
I'm
specifics
getting into
here.
the weeds now.
Yeah. So you need to have
Okay.
to operate a UTV on a road route. You need to be at least 16 years of age.
Oh, so
so
that-
we're getting down to the nitty gritty
Right,
here.
UTV, ATV, a little different.
ATV, yes. So and if you're operating ATV, you can operate an ATV on a road route if you're accompanied by a parent or an adult.
Okay.
So.
Well, the best
There's
way
some
is to
fine line.
take the course.
Yep, and always feel free to give me a call at the Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
I'm always available to answer any questions that you may have, reference ATV, UTV, or even the snowmobile boat. So,
Okay, a boat as well, yeah.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of waterways in this area. We have Lake Nepco down by you, and I'm trying to think of all the ones we have up
Wazeecha.
here. Wazeecha, and then
Dexterville,
Dexterville.
and then the whole Wisconsin River stretch. So we basically can go from Stevens Point all the way down to Highway 21, Lake Pete and Well Dam.
Wow.
All that waterway falls within our jurisdiction to be able to
But you can
enforce.
help, I hope,
Yep.
with some of this stuff.
Absolutely.
When you're not doing that, do you serve as a deputy as well, or a sergeant, excuse
So
me?
yeah, my title, it's still a patrol sergeant, so I
Right.
still help out on the road where
Oh,
need be, or
well.
help in the courthouse if they need help there. Also supervise the humane officer, and also run a few other grants that
Sure.
our Sheriff's Department has.
Well, I know your team also has to work with Marathon County here and Portage County on the other end, right? And Adams County. It's very common to even work with counties outside of Wood County for you guys, right?
Very much so.
Even on the trails, and then you as the
Yeah,
sheriff.
definitely. No, you brought it up before on those working relationships, you know, with not just the municipalities, but, you know, the surrounding counties and even throughout the state. I mean, if you have a major incident that's going on, that networking capability is out there where we can say, hey, we need people. You know, I go back to Kenosha. When that tragedy was going on and that city was really out of control, and the Sheriff's Department and their police department, you know, put out a mutual aid request for the entire state for other law enforcement officers, especially SWAT teams. We stepped up, and Matt was part of that, and it was I wouldn't say it was a no-brain decision for me to help. It really revolved around, all right, I'm willing to commit it, you know, our SWAT team to it, because you're seeing what's happening down there, and then I asked for volunteers, you know, and then we had many people step up and said, yeah, we'll go down and help out. So that's just you know, if hopefully that would never happen around here, but if it would, you know, it's very quick to put out a mutual aid request, not just to our local municipalities, but surrounding counties, and then you even go, you know, beyond that. So that's where we, you know, always talk about team. Yeah, we have a great team here, but that expands, you know, further and further and further.
All right. Well, that's good news that everybody works together and feels safe around our community in central Wisconsin. That's awesome. Thank you so much for all that information. Thank you so much for coming and talking about those ATV, UTVs, snowmobile, because there's so much there. And, you know, maybe, you know, at one time, I think maybe 10 years ago, I was able to go on location with Sean, before you were sheriff. I think it was.
Right.
Maybe do something like that in the future. We'll have to
Yeah.
see if we can do that. I know you might be interested in that.
Absolutely.
You know, a little more visual down the road and see what that's like and really get the feel of what you guys do. But we'll see if that happens.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, we never know and get so busy around here. So anything else? We're about out of time here. I know
Sure.
we'll come back next month. It'll already be October. It might be snowing.
Let's not talk about that yet. Come on now.
I know.
You know, the jail project, I should
Oh,
just
yes.
you know, probably end on that. That project is moving forward. The county board recently voted to continue with the project. The unfortunate thing, everybody knows about inflation. You know, we're all feeling it. We're all feeling it, you know, personally as we, you know, move forward in our lives. But that did impact our project. It went up $40 million. It's a lot of money. But I give our county board a lot of credit. They did a lot of research, in the last 4 years to get us where we are right now. The needs have not changed, and that was talked about at length at our last county board meeting. And I think people that have questions about the project should watch that online just to see how our county board addressed this. And I'm very proud of them for doing that because we work so hard together as a team, not me, not our team, but the county board, the community, the department heads from, within the county, the other municipalities. We can't ignore the need. And again, I'm very proud of our county board and our community that we're moving forward. Groundbreaking will be October 18th at about 11 a.m. Right outside the courthouse. So we'll have a ceremony there that the public will be invited to attend.
Well, that's an important date to remember. October 18th, the public is welcome to come. And hopefully we get somebody to film that from
That'd be
either
great.
our organization or Wisconsin Rapids organization for the community media portion of what we do here. I think that's really important, so we'll figure that out. That's coming up in 20 days.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast. So it's a go. It's
a
already
go.
going to happen, and they just probably have to still figure out some financials, I'm sure, with that.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be built tomorrow. It takes some time.
It'll probably be, I would say, a 2 to 2.5 year project. That's what we're estimating. The bids came back. There'll be several different contractors part of this progress. All
right.
That's the start.
Well, I look forward to it. I'm sure you guys do as well. You'll be you're on site in the Southwood County down there, so you'll be able to watch the progress right, basically almost out your windows, if I remember right. Close.
Yeah. Close.
So, all right. Well, again, I want to thank you both for coming to your City at Work program that I do on a weekly basis with different people in the city and the county. I think it works out really great. So for next time, we'll find some things to talk about, I'm sure, or bring another guest like yourself to here, and we'll chat about that next month and figure out what works best. So I want to thank you guys again, and thank you guys for watching. I think it's really important that we get this information out to our community. Thanks again. I'm Tom Laux, Communications Director, City of Marshfield.
A community is a group of people contributing time and energy to achieve shared goals.
Communities are more powerful when we work together.
Sharing a vision with friends and loved ones.
Businesses and institutions.
From volunteerism to advocacy to your personal contribution.
Supporting United Way is a chance for us to unite and take action to make our shared vision a reality.
When we support our United Way,
We connect our communities.
Support those in need.
Bring light to darkness.
Build a stronger future.
And create a better life for all.
Together we can.
Together, we can make an impactful difference.
And effect real change.
United Way organizations help our community members in need.
Last year in our community, United Way programs helped children and families secure their most basic needs.
Supported seniors so they could continue to live independently in their homes.
Provided services for children to receive care to help address depression, anxiety, and other mental health concerns.
And so many more lives touched in countless ways through programs supported by the United Way.
Why do I support United Way?
Knowing my funds go directly to my community makes the difference.
Knowing we all have the same vision and are working towards the same goals.
Finding ways to strengthen individuals and families in their time of need.
and working on long-term solutions that build a stronger, healthier, and happier future for our community.
To me, supporting this work is compassionate and honest. It's just the right thing to do.
That's why I chose.
I choose.
I choose.
We choose to support United Way.
We hope you live united with us and support our communities and United Way this year.
Let's live united.